We've had some strange passages of play in this tournament so far. None more exemplified than the last 10 overs played by the Bangalore side in pursuit of a fairly decent total, which now looks even bigger with the amount of runs they've scored in 10 overs. Quick reminder as we go into Cricbuzz Comm box as to where Bangalore stands. They haven't exactly been rolled over in terms of losing wickets. They've lost just the one wicket, which if Cricbuzz Comm box curse has anything to do with, will probably become two and has become 2 wickets even as we speak. So they lost Devdutt Padikkal. They've now lost captain Virat Kohli, for whom the pressure was obviously getting, and he's got out to one of the newcomers in the side. Well, I'm joined on Cricbuzz Comm box by Pommie Mbangwa. Pommie, just as I was about to ask you how much responsibility on Kohli's shoulders, well, some new shoulders needed.
Yeah, some new shoulders needed, and it's a pity because Kohli going out means that Patidar stays in. And the question essentially becomes, why have they got him there? Why have they got him batting 3? They persist. Many of these teams batting players who are, and I won't call them less, but less talented than the guys who are sitting in the dugout. You want a De Villiers to come out. You want a Maxwell to come out, particularly with the form that they're in. So give them as much balance your side as well. Yeah, and it's not looking good in terms of what happens with the other batsman at the other end. He gets under pressure as well. So you get a scenario where you're actually working for the fielding side rather than for yourselves.
Yeah, out of the corner of my eye, as I saw wicket number 2 fall, I just felt maybe it was Patidar going after the bowling, and hence it would have been a blessing in disguise. They tried him, didn't work. Maxwell and Kohli come together, and I can tell you what, it's going probably from bad to worse for the Bangalore side, because I suspect Glenn Maxwell may have come in and maybe walking back for a first ball duck. Now, if that is the case, it is a huge blow. It is a massive blow. We're still waiting on a verdict on that. But if it were to happen, it's going to be massive. For now, let's just assess what has happened so far in the 10 overs before these 2 big wickets fell. Kohli, even before he got out, Pommie, was not quite looking his fluent self.
Yeah, so it's okay if you are not your fluent self and you haven't quite got started, but you get off to good starts. And with Devdutt Padikkal, and that's how well he's played. He's allowed for Kohli each time that he's come in to be able to just find his touch and been the aggressor, and therefore there's not really been a problem in that power play. But in a situation where you're chasing, you need for it to work. You need for guys to get going. You need to ensure that you're using the power play really well. And then in that middle phase, which we said of the Punjab Kings, they kind of made a bit of a mess of it. And I said it was because, you know, if they go with Gale up front, then they perhaps get an even better start and can carry that momentum into that middle period. But not until he came in did things seem to kick off, and then he went out soon after that, and then things seemed to stop again. That's for the Punjab Kings. Here, I reckon, and we'll be talking about it at the end of the game, the thing that slows them down is the innings that's played by Patidar. It's not his fault, I don't think. He's trying to hit the ball out the ground. It can happen to the best of them, as we've seen with Warner. We've seen it with Rishabh Pant as well. If it's not your day, you're not timing it, it just doesn't work. But you can mitigate against it if you've got so many players that are quite good and in form. Get them in early.
Well, I can tell you, as we were speaking, Harpreet Brar came in to bowl a hat-trick ball. He's an unsung hero. He's one of the 2 men, along with Prabh Simran, who came into this Punjab side, and he's just provided them a miracle, getting the wickets of Kohli and Maxwell of successive deliveries. We were speculating, and I figured it was waiting for an LBW. It wasn't. They were waiting for a verdict on bowled, because Maxwell couldn't believe it had just kissed the top of off stump and gone to the wicket keeper. So Maxwell bowled, Kohli gone. Now, once again, it's up to AB de Villiers. But the problem is now he's walked in there, no support at the other end, and that score now, which was one in the 170s, looks like a 200 score.
Yeah, look, with the form that De Villiers has been in, I don't think that's going to be the issue. Can someone just hang with him? That's the question. Let's not for 1 second make it seem like one team's playing. When you get a sniff, no matter which team you are, if you get a chance to get in the game, that's what you want. And this is a chance for the Punjab Kings to get in this game, to control it. And if they can get AB de Villiers out, then, suddenly perhaps the season turns around. We were saying, will they lift off? Will they take off as they do in this game just about every season? Maybe they can. Certainly now they have more of a chance than when we started and we looked at the two sides and considered form and what had been happening to this point in the season.
Well, it's going to be quite a remaining back end of this innings. Their winning run previous season started against RCB. This time around, could it also be game number 7 that accelerates or starts off this lift-off? We'll give you all the verdict at the end. For now, Cricbuzz Comm Box, which has taken 2 wickets on this edition.